Hello, my name is Amina and I'm your decision-making specialist. And today, yep, I'm still here, is day 660, and it's May 14th, 2020. And I am just fine being here. I know a lot of people are just really eager to go out, and I'm fine. And I hope that you're fine, whether you're way out there full blown in your state or your country, or whether you're going incrementally. Whatever stage you're in, I hope that you're okay and that you stay okay. And I so much hope that everyone else can be as well as possible. On this day 60, I'm listening to the news, I'm talking with my clients. Some of them live in different states and one in another country, and just those are the ones that I've been talking to today or with. And every one of them have mentioned all kinds of mixed feelings going on. One woman is engaged, and she and her fiance had planned a lovely wedding, going to be very simple, and have his relatives and hers and their very best friends, and they had picked out a cake and the colors and what they wanted their book to be that people would sign, the guest book, what they wanted to eat, what kind of dinner they wanted. Did they want sit down? Did they want buffet? Who was going to speak? What music? All of those things. And the flowers, candles or no candles. It was going to be an evening wedding. Dancing under the stars. And guess what? They are now, I worked with them as a couple over the phone, working with them about trying to make a decision. Were they going to go ahead and get married, or were they going to get married and then they would have the celebration later on? Or would they wait for their wedding until they could have everything together? And they had to make a decision because some of the guests were coming from out of town, and they realized that they're not sure if they wanted to have a wedding with just the two of them and not have anybody there and not have the dancing. And then they'd heard about people that got married and they were right there getting married, and then the in-laws and other people were at their homes and somebody else there and somebody else there. And finally we talked, and they decided that their decision was to have a decision with the human touch, and for them, they wanted to have it where humans could actually touch. So they have decided they're still in love and they're going to wait. So they're in the process of contacting everyone that they've made their decision. And then I talked to another client, and she lives in a state where it's been in the news where their courts just decided they could just be totally wide open. It seemed like there were no boundaries whatsoever. The social distancing, the masks, I think, still in place. It was just wide open. And she was having to make some decisions about how she worked with all of that. Because for her, she's not one, at least right now, that is designated at risk. However, we all are at risk. And it doesn't matter if we were tested, we could still be asymptomatic, be shedding, all kinds of things. And she said that she was having some difficulty trying to make her decision about what it meant for her to go out there. She said it was almost easier when there were some parameters, and now there are virtually none. And she said, well, I'd like to get my hair done. And then she said, and I don't know if that's safe. I know my hairdresser is going to do her best. It's just that we can't be 6 feet apart and have my hair done. And she finally talked, and I let her finish, and she came to her conclusion that for her it wasn't just a matter of what to do, that she would want to figure out what did she want. Well, she wanted her hair done, she wanted it cut, she wanted it to have it colored, and she wanted somebody else to wash it except herself. And she said that she realized that in her other outcomes was she wanted to be safe, and she wanted to be healthy, and she wanted to stay alive. And so we weighed and measured about her outcomes with the impact that she wanted, and then we would figure out what to do. And she decided that with all of the things that she wanted about her hair, what she really needed was to feel safe and to be healthy as much as she could. And so then her decision was easier, and she decided, you know what, I'll just buy a new shampoo and pretend that I'm at the hairdresser's. And so she actually called her hairdresser and asked her what kind of shampoo she used there and what kind of rinse. And her hairdresser said, you've been with me for so long, if you'll go to the curb and stand, I will bring out what I use. And she said, and inside I have some, in a little plastic bag, I have some alcohol wipes. And she said, so you can wipe them off before you pick them up. And so she and her hairdresser found a way for her to be served and for her to get some of the outcome she wanted and still get all of the outcome of feeling safe. So, you know, these are times where we can be creative because nobody really has the answer to everything. And we have to make those decisions ourselves. And what she liked about that is that her hairdresser understood and still wanted to serve her in the way that she could. And her hairdresser figured out, well, you know, I need money coming in, and I do have this special shampoo that I only use in my shop. And so she figured out with all of her clients, if they wanted, how about they buy the shampoo and cream rinse and some other products from her, collect it curbside. So they're being served, she's being the person that she wants to be, and she's making some money. So they're lots of different ways that businesses and customers are shifting so that everybody can get as much as they want and still be safe and still be healthy. So those are two examples of decisions. Other decisions are, do you want to still continue getting your food curbside or delivered? Or do you want to go into a restaurant and have the social distancing and have an indoor dinner? Or would you rather have a patio or buy the food and have an outdoor setting, picnic? It's getting warmer now. What would you like so that you can have something more than what you've had in shelter and still be able to be safe and healthy as much as you can with yourself? Think about that as you go out. Think about that for your children. You and your partner have a little talk. Your other family, they may be able to just go out full blown. That may be fine for them. Check with you. Do I feel comfortable just gathering, even though we're gathering in a different way? Or do I want to go a little more slowly until we know a little more information? And so all of those decisions about finances, knowing that you need the money and that you need to be sure that your job is secure, and being able to know for certain that your employer is going to keep things as safe as possible, and will that be safe enough for you? And can you take what the employer offers, and can you add anything for yourself that would help you feel more safe? Maybe your own sanitizer, maybe an extra mask, maybe your own kind of gloves. And have a talk with your employer. Make sure that you have your job still, that when you come to work, you will be as safe as possible, and then decide. And that is really a hard part, because when you need a job and you're hungry and your children are hungry, those decisions are really difficult. And also to decide how far out are you going? You go from here to there and come back in shelter. If you're not in shelter, are you going to go here and then go here and then go here? How far out are you going to go? Or are you going to stay kind of within a parameter? Does your area have testing even if you don't have symptoms? Does it have tracing in case somebody gets sick and you can figure out where everybody's been to see if you have been exposed? All of these questions, so that each of us have to figure out, you do, I do, we all have to figure out how to work within the parameters that we have and how to negotiate if we don't have very many parameters at all. Something to think about. And so that's my offering, that you give a little thought to looking at out there a little differently. And of course, you will still take your toolbox, you'll have your story, And part of your decision making is part of your legacy. I hope you're going out there as carefully as possible, staying safe and healthy, because you're important. All right, thank you, and I will be here tomorrow. And if you'll click surprise, surprise me and click subscribe. Leave a message so I know how you're doing, because I really care. Come back tomorrow. I will have my hand out and I will be looking for you. All right, bye for now.